co-founder of Invana, and welcome to the Local Buzz. As you guys know, the Local Buzz is an opportunity to showcase all the amazing professionals we have in our network and what they are doing within their local communities. And today we are super excited to have Barbara Chatzkel of the New River Group with us. Hey, would you like to do a quick intro about who you are, what you do, and why, body language, which is what we're going to talk about, is one of your passions?
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone, and Marianne, and thank you so much. I'm Barbara Chatzkel, and my consulting practice is the New River Group. I work generally with nonprofits and governmental organizations, and I've been doing that for 20 years. But my passion, which lies below all of that, is body language. I grew up in New York City, so I was in the best place in the world to people watch, and the subways was number one. And I learned a lot about people just watching them. So I began to apply it when people kept saying, this person isn't doing well at work, this manager isn't as effective as she could be, what can I do? So that's how the Body Language Pro got invented. And as everyone from the chamber knows, you only have one chance to make a first impression, and that's what we work on.
Yeah, so we are also members. We're also members of the Anthem Area Chamber of Commerce together. And I know right when we were still doing in-person meetings, you were saying, how we normally do handshakes. But then there were, like I believe like this is one of them. There were many different ways that you can say, instead of doing a handshake, that you can do different techniques to say hello without actually, shaking hands.
Right. The COVID-19 virus really changed so many things in our world. And one of the significant changes was a lot of body language had to change. As you said, handshakes are out right now. So there are about a dozen different ways that you can show respect and greeting, and sometimes have like a beginning and an end to a meeting, because that's what handshakes do. They say, welcome, let's start, and thank you. So you're right, there's several things. As there's this, there's this, there's this, there's some people just go, so it's just some affirmation that the person's there and you're welcoming them. The biggest thing that has happened recently is, let me get my prop. So how do you know if I'm smiling, I'm paying attention, or I'm unhappy wearing a mask? So what we look at, rather than people don't take off their mask, is you really look at the eyes and you really look at the posture to see what somebody is saying. Because without a smile, there's an awful lot you lose in that. So people are now having to really probe a bit more to see, are you okay with that decision we reached? Because you're not seeing that reaction in the whole face. You're also, if you have the shield over the full face, remember, if you're feeling less confident in a meeting about how things are going, generally what you should do is take a sort of a step back and look at the eyes and look at the full posture of the person, and that will be your new guide. So yeah, the pandemic has done a lot of changes in a lot of ways we work and act, and body language is definitely affected.
Yeah, so then, like you said, so if people are still showing, they're still listening, they're still showing their respect for hello and goodbye. They're just doing it in different ways. So we just need to kind of adapt and adjust and look at these different ways that people are communicating with each other.
Right. One other thing is people who are huggers are really going through withdrawal because they haven't had a good hug in 3 months, and people really want to hug. The most innovative thing I saw was a grandmother and a child. She took a sheet of clear plastic and created sort of armholes with plastic over it and hugged through that. So if you have hugger friends, understand they're going through another type of withdrawal also.
Well, to kind of parlay into, we know how to work one-on-one with each other when we're doing our business meetings and things of that nature. But as a business owner, if I'm a business owner, what should I look for with my employees or my other coworkers? How do I know if they are okay or if they're handling the situation? What are some of those signs that we should look for with our employees and coworkers?
That's a great question because we forget that we have been thrown into a totally new way of acting and conducting our business over the past 3 months. What you really should look for is if the verbal answer somebody gives does not match their body language at all. I mean, you and I were talking about the people who were sort of dead on a meeting, that they weren't there, they had checked out, and people are doing that more. If people's personalities have changed, in other words, if somebody is much more argumentative, that can really be a signal that something, not necessarily in the workplace, but something in the person's life has really changed, not for the good. And there's so many things that are happening: unemployment, the disease, losing your homes. So you have to really take that look at the body language, which will give you the first clue that you have somebody who is not the person they were 3 months ago. And in many instances, you can really help them by allowing them a space to talk or rearranging some of the work assignments to fit them better, because they're not angry at you, they're not angry at the business, just life is very overwhelming. I'm sure we can all identify an instance of that.
So as a business owner, how can I, like if you are my employee or my coworker, how can I show to you that I empathize with you? Like let's say we're wearing a mask, we can't, do any type of high fives or anything. How can I, empathize and say, I hear you, I hear you, I understand you, I want to be a sounding board for you. What can business owners do to help do that with their employees?
Well, the message you just put out is good. What I would suggest is you're quieter and gentler with everything that's going on, because you're really talking to somebody who may be experiencing some form of PTSD. People don't think that happens here, but it does with all of the things. So it's really saying, what can I do to make the work environment better? And let them come up. And if they say nothing, that's fine, because they'll come back to you when they're ready to talk. But just knowing that you're there, I mean, everything is out of all of our control, right? How many people had vacations and graduations canceled? How many people had job opportunities shut out? How many people's contracts, stopped? So there's not a lot of things that people have control of. And if people feel through your body language that you are on their side, the kind of thing that will work.
Mm-hmm. And what type of businesses, could really use your services? How can you help business owners make sure that they are, doing all they can to help their employees?
The kind of business that can use my services, as I said, has people in it, because all of us use body language. And one of the interesting things is, a company I work with said, these people leave every day and go out and meet with my customers, and they're representing me, and I don't know how they're acting. So I want to teach them the right way to act. Because if you're somebody coming to a door, especially in the service industry, like if air conditioning breaks down now, you want somebody good at your door quickly. And when you open that door, you want to feel comfortable. So that's really easy from having somebody just up there looking pretty belligerent and things like that. So that's one instance. Another, frontline help desk kind of folks, they are getting pummeled by all sorts of things. So you have to give them the opportunity to work through that. And also you have to get them to be able to visualize an excellent conversation, an excellent outcome, so that their body language and therefore their voice is calm and helpful. And the fact that they're waiting online longer for a call is hard. The other thing is that everyone, if an advertising agency has one kind of buzz. I mean, there are people who are sort of, buzzing around and hopping. That doesn't particularly work in a CPA office. So what you have to do is have the conversations about, this is who we are, and this is what we want to present to our customers. And that works out a lot better. You can tell when people are introducing themselves if they're comfortable in the introduction and if they're comfortable in what they're representing. So from soup to nuts, one of the things that we do is body language tune-ups. We tend to do that with the managers, because if the manager has the body language and the attitude that we want for the business, people will follow it. From the time we're very little, we are very good imitators. So we want people to imitate what we want to have presented. So, I do a lot of work in the service industries, people going out to homes. I do a lot of work with consultants, because there they are. It used to be in your face telling you how you had to change. So you have to be able to do that in specific ways. The medical industry right now, doctors don't have a very good telemedicine presence. I had some time with a doctor where I said, you can't be looking down and you can't be, frowning, because this person is wanting you to affirm that they're going to get better. So as long as you use people, you can use my services. So that's basically it.
And to go along with what you just said, like before, it was more of businesses or services where you were doing more face-to-face. But even the way you present yourself over the phone, it comes out in your voice. So you got to have the right body language, like you said, even if you're not face-to-face, because how you present yourself, you can tell when you're smiling, right? You can tell when someone's smiling in their voice. So
Right.
it is basically anyone who is out on the front line, whether it's in person or online or on the phone, they need to make sure that their body language is representing what they are trying to communicate.
Yeah, here are 2 tips. One for just an audio phone call. When you're on an audio phone call, I want you to stand up, and if you have a mirror, it's really good to speak into that mirror, because then you'll smile. But standing up and having the conversation has given your body the signal that I have to be performing in here. And then for the 1,000 of Zoom or GoToMeeting calls that you have, one thing that's really helpful is next to your monitor, put up either a photograph of something that you really like or a souvenir or something that if you glance at it, it makes you happy, because hour after hour on audio calls can really drain you. So we want you to be surrounded by things that will perk you up. So those are two different ways you can use body language on that.
Oh, that's really good. I like those tips. Those are very good tips. So Barbara,
Well, thank you.
if someone wants to reach out to you to talk to you further about this and, you know, talk about how you can help them with their businesses, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Right now, the best way is via email, which is barbara@newrivergroup.net, or text, which is 623-680-0515. My website is down at the moment because we're redoing it for my new book, which will come out at the end of the year. And it's called Business Body Language, and it keeps growing from what our conversation is on how to become your own body language pro. So there'll be some stuff going out on that soon.
Awesome. That's something to look forward to. We'll have to have you on again when your book is getting ready to be released.
Great.
Well,
thank you. That would be lovely.
Thank you, Barbara, so much for joining us and just telling us about your passion and how body language, it really opened my eyes to the body language is just, no matter what you're doing, how you present yourself is going to shine through. And so thank you for not only, giving us a little bit more about you, but being a part of the Vimvana community. We are very grateful to have you and to know you and to be in the Anthem Area Chamber together. We got to give the chamber a plug as well. So thank you, Barbara.
Right.
And
thank
guys,
you so much, Marianne. And Vimvana.
Yes,
Vimvana is a great place because they have a good vibe.
That's
you
right.
have a good vibe going there.
It's all about the community. I know, Barbara, you've joined some of our masterminds, and so that's what we do. We try to keep it as positive as possible and just make sure that we are all here to support each other. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I do encourage you to share, like, and comment, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to promote other awesome professionals in the area.